despite what their moms told them. They just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Sunday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe. For the Believe Entertainment Network, at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia live on X Spaces for the fan feedback segment of every post-game show. God willing. Syracuse go 2-0 to start the year. A big win. We'll tell you a little about what we think. We'll try not to have any mishaps like during this episode, like we did the last episode. And
what happened?
Oh, the miscue on the close. I think I said something. I misspoke about the all-time series. I think with Georgia Tech and Syracuse, and then I thought there was one other thing, but I screwed up the close twice in a row. That was gonna get edited out. Joe wanted it in so bad, so I was pressed for time anyways. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. So anyway, I'll knock the rust off. We're good now. We'll go through and kind of, we'll do the montage and do a little bit of a quick, take on the game. And then there's a ton of fan feedback, Joe. I don't know if you've looked at any of it. I have not. If you could get the old Facebook pulled up, that would be great. I wasn't to come out the way they did and play that game the way they did. We'll get into it. I was impressed. That's exactly what we talked about last game. Exactly. So I got a reason not to believe it can be done. I'm gonna believe it. And it kind of went exactly about how I thought it was gonna be. Really. I mean, the night before we did the preview, I didn't know if Syracuse could handle Georgia Tech even at home. And then, we all watched Florida State. It's so funny how sports works. I don't think we've based any preview show off of a third-party team that has not much to do with what we're going to be talking about. But it kind of focused around that, and I just thought it was kind of unique. So anyway, look. We're going to do, like I said, we're going to do the montage. We're going to do some fan feedback. Obviously, the fan feedback segment of each show is live on Twitter if we can. We had some problems. I think Twitter had some problems. I don't think it was us. But if you can, sign up for the notifications. Look, you're not going to get a ton of notifications from us, okay? We're not tweeting a whole lot, okay? So, during the game, after the game, and before the preview show are my tweet times, okay? So you sign up, you'll know when we go live. You can at least sit in there. If you don't want to participate, that's fine. You can sit in there and hang out, whatever. All right? So, without further ado, let's hear what Coach had to say following the game.
Guys, I know I ain't seen my daughter all night, so I wanted to hang with her. So I want to make sure I bring Ivy up here. But first off, I want to just say hats off to Coach Key and his staff and his team. Haynes, their quarterback, is really good. So I'm just thankful that we had the opportunity to compete against them. And they did a good job, and I wish them safe travels going back home. Coach Mogridge, who's on that staff, and Coach Buster Faulkner, who I got a chance to coach with, who we developed a good friendship. And I'm just very thankful that we got to play against those guys, and they competed all the way to the end. They were just a really good football team and a well-organized and well-prepared football team.
Fran, I know earlier in the week there was maybe some things that Key said that rubbed you maybe a little bit the wrong way, it might have sounded like. What was your conversation with him like after this game, and had that added fuel going into this game?
I mean, it did add fuel. He knew me. So it was just, like I told him, I didn't know him. I was on the other side of the ball. I took that personal, and I took it personal when he talked about it wasn't about X's and O's. It was about coming up here being physical and tough for 4 hours. And we from the Northeast. Like, what you mean by that? You know, like, we don't play football, like, we're not physical and tough. I took that very personal. I took that personal because of what the S means. You know, Syracuse has been physical forever, and I wanted to make sure that that will never be said about us. Like, we're not soft, you know. So that bothered me. It rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I'm always telling Kyle in practice when he'll run inside, I'm cussing at him and chasing him. You should be running. You're afraid to run. I want to see the Little League Kyle McCord. I'm not looking for this college guy that you think. I want the Little League football player. So when he did that did something to the program. I don't know if you noticed, everybody went crazy because we know he can do that. I said, but you can't spike the ball, Kyle. You know what I mean? He can't do that. We got lucky. That should have been a flag. At the end of any game, when they get close and it gets like that, you've seen that happen 1,000 times. Now we got to work on that. Special teams are going to touch the ball before it hits 10 yards. That's bad coaching on Fran Brown. Nobody else. Not the special teams coach, not other than those guys. That's on me to be able to put the right guys in the right place. Our guys need to be able to be who they are. You got some guys that are ball guys, some guys that are blockers, and one of the blockers went for the football. So that's totally me, though. That's not those kids, so don't put that on them. But we needed that little test. I'm going to get the ball back, and then let's see what happens. LeQuint wants the ball every play. Like, he wants to be the wide out, the quarterback, the running back, every play. That's his passion, and we're still just trying to teach him that you're a really good football player, LeQuint, and we need you all year.
On Monday, you talked about that you need to stop the run to win this game. What did you see from your team's improvements in that aspect? And also, what were some of the steps this week that you guys took to get to that role?
It's contact. Me in practice being a maniac, Coach E going crazy. And then the movements that we done when it came to where we put guys at. We came out with a completely new defense, something that we worked on and just went through. And Coach E had the vision, man. Him and Coach Rob and Coach Shafe and Coach Williams, those dudes was just in this one room. And everyone, like, throughout, as the end of the week, I didn't want to go in there no more. It just started stinking in the room they was in. They just, like, stayed in there. And they was just barricaded in there, and they just was going through stuff. And, like, Coach, we got them. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And they had different things for them. I was very thankful that they did that. And we just was hitting, though. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, we from here. You got Derek Coleman over there, how he played basketball, physical and tough. So I wasn't going to have him come back, Dwight Freeney come back, and we play soft. So, you know what I'm saying, I get an opportunity. Whatever we do around here, this Syracuse. Like, so all that stuff, they tried to act like who we were, what we're about. We're going to be a physical, tough program, and we're going to put the S back on the map. Anytime you get the ball on fourth down when you're going for it, and then you're able to stop him, because when he's going for it, he's saying, I'm tougher than you. I'm about to go for it. And then I'm saying, when we go for it, we're tougher than you. And who won the most fourth down this day? We did, yeah, because he said he wanted to fight from 2 out of 4. So that's all I was thinking about from 2 out of 4. That's why I was and you know me. So it's a big difference. When you know who I am and you come at me about toughness, like, don't do that. I took this game was very personal. And then you know that I coach with Kirby Smart and Muschamp. So why would we not be a tough physical football team? That's just what they do, and that's what we about, and that's where I was at. And I did take that very personal. And I want to make sure everyone understands that when you play us, just be quiet. So then that way we're just going to go worry about us throughout the week. Don't give no ammo to me. You give ammo to me, I'm coming at you full tilt.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe.
I actually hope everybody talks crap at every pregame press conference before they play Syracuse, actually. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hear the clapping at the end.
Yeah. He kind of called the media out, too, at one point about the defense, by the way. I don't know if you caught that or if you listened to the whole presser, but he did say he mentioned something about all of them in regards to the defense. And, we obviously looked at it too. But with that said, just a couple of quick things from me. Kyle McCord, dude. Like, what did we do to deserve this guy? I just... Do you feel the same way I feel? Like, first of all, the offensive line did a tremendous job. I think he was only sacked once, okay?
Yeah.
Penalties are still low. I think there was just a couple, no pre-snap penalties, if I remember right. So that's 2 games in a row. I don't remember the last time we've done that. Offensive line was excellent. Kept Kyle McCord upright most of the time. Even gave him a running lane at one point. You heard Coach talking about wanting Kyle to use his legs a little bit more and get a little bit more aggressive in that aspect, but be safe at the same time, obviously. And he was pumped. Kyle was pumped too, man, spiking the ball on the sideline. I was waiting for a flag myself. So what we did to deserve Kyle McCord, I don't know, but my gosh, man, I could get used to him. Okay, so
he's only got 1 year. I mean, the way he's playing, he'd only been here 1 year anyway. Even though it's been 2 games, it's not like our first 2 games have been against the worst opponents, right? And he's gone over 350 both times with 4 touchdowns. This time, no interceptions. And
it was another career high. He broke his career high from last game.
Right.
So, yeah, it's crazy. What do you have? 381. What do you have?
381, yeah. I'm right there with you. Like, the way that they attack these defenses and everything, they know what they're doing. Mixon's a hell of an offensive coordinator. You see the way they set up these plays and the way they spread the ball out. Amari Hatcher, I think he had a bounce back day, but the way that LeQuint is getting his 80 plus yards, 15 carries a game, plus getting 4 or 5 catches. They're mixing in Will Nixon a little bit more. Just when I watch this offense, I'm like, like we could have scored a lot more. And realistically, if we don't get a field goal blocked, a punt blocked, and an onside kick, like if giving them an onside kick, then this game really isn't close.
No, it's not. It's not close at all. However, those things did happen, but you could look at that and say we dominated every aspect except for special teams. In the onside kick thing, that was just a poor decision. It's hard to know, I guess, where you are on the field when that ball is bouncing and you just see it, and just hit him. So it's not like he was trying to go for it and missed it or anything like that. Just he got in the way. So just unfortunate and made me pucker up a little bit. But at the end of the day, we get the ball back and LeQuint Allen secures it. And I think Gadsden had a huge catch before that to help run the clock down a little bit more, and then LeQuint's run, and then that was breathe easy again, and we could kneel this thing out, and that was awesome. And one thing about Kyle McCord that my son brought up was how he spread the ball around. Gadsden and Pena both with 6 catches, Amari Hatcher and Allen both with 5, Meeks and Haynes both with 4. So through those 6 receivers right there, pretty spread around, and just having more than one receiver that can catch a ball is just also something we're not used to. It's not a knock. I'm just saying we target Gadsden the year before last, and that's where we got our receiving yards from. And now we've got like all of this talent out of the backfield, wide receivers, tight ends. It's just not something we're used to, and it feels good. Like it feels like football. It feels like college football and Syracuse being contenders every game. And no matter who they're playing, I feel like they're at least going to be coming into these games prepared. And I think that they have a chance against anybody. And a lot of that's mindset. And what Coach has done with mindset and what he's done with preparing these guys and drilling it into them, the dart and the toughness aspect especially, and accountability. Obviously, there's accountability somewhere because it's a very disciplined team so far this year. And just awesome.
Half their team are newcomers, right? And as the season goes on, you can only expect them to get better, right? They figured out, albeit, it might have been a little gimmicky, with putting Fidel Diggs out there as a linebacker and letting him run around and, showing Georgia Tech something that they haven't been able to see on tape. But, we had a problem with stopping the run, and then they went and they fixed it, right? And now this week, if it wasn't for the lapses in the special teams, then we would have won this game very handily. And so this gives them something to go back and work on. Like I said, I think the offense is only going to get better. You had a couple drops from Gadsden. Dan Villari had a couple drops. And, Justice Ross Simmons, I don't even think has even really,
Zed Haynes had a couple, I think, too.
Yeah, I think he had, I know maybe. He dropped.
He dropped at least one, yeah.
Yeah, so I still see a day where this offense can actually be a little bit better and more consistent. But the first 5 drives yesterday, they brought it across Georgia Tech's 50-yard line, and like I said, we probably should have had more points and won by more. So it's good to see. I mean, back in the day, even with the Dungy or with the Schrader, I think that there's some games we were confident where it was like, okay, we knew that our defense needed to at least do this so that our offense didn't have to get in a shootout, but we could kind of stay with them, and it just doesn't. It feels completely different now. Like you were saying, it feels like, okay, like how bad of a day does Kyle McCord have to have for us to not be able to put up 30 on almost any team?
I mean,
it's just
is it fair to say like Kyle McCord? I mean, I know you. We've had some decent quarterbacks. I mean, back in my day, it was Marvin Graves and Donovan McNabb. Those were some solid quarterbacks that got us through most of the 90s, right? Kyle McCord is a little bit different from he's just a different type of quarterback. So I don't really remember, like you brought up Nassib, which I just, the comparison is fair, but I think Kyle McCord is obviously better. But, I mean, He's on track. I mean, 8 touchdowns in 2 games. He's breaking passing yardage records 2 games in a row. I mean, and with Pena too. Pena's got what, 5 of the 8, I think, something like that. So yes. I mean, it's crazy. He's on track. Go a long way to go, but he's on track to set some records, some school records at least, at Syracuse, and then. The sky's the limit with this team. They're only going to get better. They're pretty good right now. I mean, I said it on Twitter. I mean, the team is good. I think the defense still has a little work to do, but the team is good. And by the way, had Fadil Diggs playing out of position, filling a role for Marlowe Wax, and he did pretty good with the quarterback. I mean, he had 2 tackles for loss and one big one, huge one, at the end of the game. So, I'm very excited. Going forward, we got a week off, get a little early R&R, and then we suit up for UNLV. And I don't know what UNLV brings yet exactly, but this team could start 5-0. They have a real legit shot to start 5-0. And with the schedule that they got and the teams that they've played already, I think we underestimated Ohio a little bit. I don't know what Ohio did yesterday. I should have checked that, but I think it's going to be a challenging year, but I think that Syracuse is ready for it. I really do. And they spend a lot of time at home in the beginning of the year, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad yet. So I guess we'll cross that road later. But anyway.
Yeah, you got to get there, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. They're eventually going to equal out. So, we got to get the W's while we're at home for sure. So I might as well load up the wins and the confidence, before we go on the road, because we know, obviously, our first road game is going to be going down to, out to Las Vegas, West Coast time with a late start. So,
yeah. Which
Ohio won yesterday, by the way.
Did they?
27-20.
Who'd they play?
South Alabama.
Okay.
Also, too, Kyle McCord's third in all of the Division I for passing yards, only I think 50 or 60 yards behind Jackson Dart, who was the Heisman kind of front runner from the beginning of the year, and he's tied with Nussmeier, the quarterback at LSU, for the most touchdowns in the country. So he's right up there as far as stats go, as far as across the country. That Kyle McCord.
Yeah, feels that way. I mean, he's good. He's good, dude. Very exciting to have a quarterback like that for us this year. I'm really, really stoked about it. Anything else, real quick, before we move on to some fan feedback, Joe, that you could think of?
I will say that I was highly impressed. I mean, we did very well at stopping the run, but I was highly impressed with Haynes King. I mean, that guy single-handedly kept us in the game with the throws that he made and some of the – that first touchdown he had where it looked like McDonald had him just dead to rights in the backfield, and he just breaks it.
Again, he dove at his feet.
Yep. So, Haynes King was it's highly impressive. Georgia Tech's a good team, and they're going to be. They have a tough schedule, but they're going to be highly competitive. That was not an easy win. It wasn't just a run of the mill average team to me that we beat yesterday.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said. I said, I don't think Georgia Tech is overrated. I think that would do Syracuse a disservice even saying that because of I just think they're a good team. I just think Syracuse is better. I think Syracuse executed better, and like you said, if it weren't for their special teams, this wouldn't even have been close. And Haynes King he's a threat.
And that talk is tough because they're ranked because they beat Florida State, right? And was Florida State overrated? Okay, maybe.
Right. So, I think I think that the top 25 rankings coming into the year, I don't think they were great.
Yeah, well, and just unlike, basketball, and it takes a little bit for movement in basketball, football, it moves pretty good.
Much quicker, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier to move around like that. But Georgia Tech didn't have to be ranked in 20. It makes it look better for us that they were 23rd. They didn't need to be ranked 23rd for me to think that this was still going to be a tough, hard-fought game.
Yeah, absolutely. And when was the last time we beat a ranked team? Was it like 5 years ago or something like that? Who was it?
Clemson?
Was it Clemson? Was it really?
I don't know.
I think it was after Clemson. But anyway, it's been a while. It's been a while. And yesterday they did it. And what a game plan. What a well executed game. So anyways, all right, it's time to hear from you. All right, it's time to hear from you. Look, go to Facebook or Twitter at the end of every game. We'll ask for your thoughts on that game. You leave them there. We talk about them here. I'm making the habit of not checking these things out before we come on and trying to pick all the best. So there's a ton of comments with a lot of meat on some of these. So I guess I'm just going to go right from the top on X. Start there. At Cuse Mode Jimbo, major special team miscues nearly cost us the game. Blocked field goal, blocked punt, failed to recover the onside kick, but we beat a tough and ranked Georgia Tech team at the end of the day. That's only going to help us grow as a team. And like Coach said in the montage, he mentioned, look, I put that on me. I'm specifically talking about the miscue on the onside kick, and it's okay. They're going to get the ball back. We're going to see what happens. I mean, we saw it happen. They scored another touchdown, but to still come through and just remain calm and professional about it, and go out there and do what you need to do is just another one of those things. And coach said before, he likes the adversity stuff. To be able to overcome stuff like that, it's kind of a big deal. Builds character. So, Let's see. At Jeremy S624, I think this team has a chance to be special. We are beating quality teams and have yet to play a game with all three units firing. Okay, fair point. It's only 2 games in, but that's true. Special teams was a major downside today, but it will be worked out, I'm sure. You learn from your mistakes far more than your successes. And that's just piggybacking on pretty much what we just said and what Fran Brown was talking about in the press conference. So, yeah, it was close. You're going to have issues, but not at every aspect of kicking. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to block a kickoff, so that's the only thing that went right. But he didn't kick one out of bounds, so that's good. I'll take it. At Island King 63, offense was great. Defense was great until they decided to play soft in the fourth quarter, and special teams was an embarrassment. Look, yeah, they don't score 14. They score 14 points all the way until what was it, like under 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They had scored 14 points up to that point, and then they score back-to-back drives. And, that second drive after the onside kick, you could chalk that up to just having the defense have to go right back out on the field again. Yeah. But
Had a bad feeling about that one.
Yeah, I had a bad feeling about it too. And you could just kind of feel it, though. Even on the drive before that, you could kind of feel that. I wouldn't say the momentum was shifting, but you could tell that they were getting into a little bit better of a rhythm. And, it was past the ball time, and Haynes King has got to be watched as well. So, for what they did, I felt like it wasn't terrible, but, they executed on when the offense got the ball back. I was like, okay, we should be good. That's when I felt good, when the offense has the ball, which is weird because it's not usually how it goes.
Usually not like that. Even then, it was like the odd part of me being like, I was confident for pretty much the whole rest of the half of that game until that whole thing happened, and then when they got the onside kick, I knew they were going to score, and then after that, I was like, oh Lord. 3 points. I was a little nervous because I was just in my head. I'm like, because I think it's still what we've been used to. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this would be the time where we go 3 and out, and they have all their timeouts, and they're going to go down and tie it and go. It's like this game is not even close to being over.
Oh yeah, that's how I felt.
Kind of crept a little bit in my head because again, we've been so used to that, not really knowing.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. At David Super, our buddy Dave. Unbelievable, Sean, the Einstein genius mastermind of our day, nailing the final score. We're not worthy. Well, you are worthy. Everybody's worthy. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then. Just not the perfect nut. And I did nail it. Thank you, David, for recognizing. So that's the second time. Oh, there's David right there. He just popped into the spaces. It's the second time I've done that. I mean, I'm just saying, Joe, how many times have you nailed the final score at the end of a football game?
0.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. At Michelle A. Malou, or whatever. I'm super pumped and also glad the student section was packed and the kids stuck around. I'll even forgive the one guy in Tennessee overalls. He tried. 39,550, I think the school announced for that game yesterday. That's going to climb. Yeah. That's going to climb. We're going to... What did you say it was? 43? What did they hold now after they took some seats out? 43-ish? Something like that? One of these guys in the spaces will know.
It's like 42 or 43, somewhere around there.
Okay, well, either way. Well, that's going to get... At some point, I think there's going to be multiple sellouts this year in that dome for this team. So, or they're right there. And
the next... Good.
What's that?
The next game should be.
Yeah, okay, well, that's fair. Let's see, what else have we got? You got anything on the Facebook? Hold on.
Yeah.
Go back here. Go. Let me get this one real quick. Our buddy Nadal, beyond impressed with the protection in the O-line that the O-line gave McCord all game, giving him plenty of time to run through his progressions and find an open man. Unless Georgia Tech isn't good at the rush, you guys know more than me. Hashtag I know more about basketball. No. That Jamal Haynes he's not a joke. Like, they kept him to what, 35 yards or something like that? What did he have?
What, Haynes?
Yeah, 26 yards.
So it wasn't a lot. I mean, they really just got majority of their success on the ground was Haynes King. I mean, the majority of their success was Haynes King.
No, I'm sorry. That was receiving, by the way. So
yeah,
it was 35 yards. 11 carries for 35 yards. He averaged 3.2. Haynes King led rushing with 67, and it was the two. The two were 48 of his 67 yards. The two running touchdowns that he had was 48 of the 67. So
yeah, well, and Jamal Haynes, he had that at the longest. He had the 15-yard touchdown run. So, I mean, before that, he only had 20 yards.
Yeah, and they kept all of the running backs in check. They tried with Anthony Carey and failed with that as well. So, anyways, a tremendous job. I think we covered the fact that Haynes King is a problem, and we've seen it last year, and also, we saw it in the games they played so far this year. So,
right.
With that said, I think they did a pretty good job. So, it's tough. That's a tough aspect of the game. So,
oh, of course. And I mean, we talked about it last week, and everyone, that was the kind of, I mean, there's a lot of comments about this, but the rush defense much improved. We talked about it. last week, the last two podcasts, when he said, okay, well, we got by Ohio, but we can't let Georgia Tech do that. And that was going to be one of the main keys because Georgia Tech could run. So, the fact that they did, come back and do that, top fan Dave Raleigh.
Oh, yeah, I'm having a problem. I'm having a problem with the machine. I don't know what's going on with it. I can hear it, but it doesn't sound as solid as it usually does. So anyways, forgive that. Go ahead, Joe.
So he says offense is the real deal, gives it an A. Defense made some serious improvements, had some great moments. Tough opponent, and they did well against the rush. Gave them a B-. He said special teams, I think everyone knows the letter here. Lots of work to do, very fixable. High ceiling for these kids in this team. I'm excited to see more games.
Yeah, absolutely. At Cuse Waterboy 2, Kyle McCord throwing nothing but darts and is getting some national attention. Dare I say Heisman? I mean, I wouldn't yet. Only because I don't want to raise those expectations.
No.
I think he's doing enough to be quite possibly one of the best one-year guy. I mean, he's on track to have one of the best years that any quarterback has had at Syracuse. That's what I'm trying to say. While the defense does need some work, realize this team is still getting gelling and figuring it out. We're 2-0 and not even playing our best ball yet. Going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season. Let's up and go. Yeah, that's the thing, is putting the fun back in football because it's been not... ... At Jack and Angie 13, they cleaned up run fits, and now they can tighten up special teams, and this team can beat anyone in college ball. I am so, like I said earlier, just this team exudes like confidence in themselves and what they're doing in each other, and that's like I was alluding to before. The mindset has changed, the culture's changed. It's amazing, like what that can do for a unit, and they seem to be. The offense is going to click, man. Defenses are going to absolutely struggle with this offense. It's just a matter of staying healthy. You heard Coach in the montage talk about LaQuinn Allen. He wants the ball every play, but we got to have him all year. We do. We got to have him all year. However, Will Nixon, he got some burn, and he looks good, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to bring up a 2, but obviously LaQuinn Allen, I mean, he sealed the deal. At the end of the day, he sealed the deal for the game and was able to, he just does his thing. It's methodical. It's not super, super flashy, but it's consistent, and he's tough. You want to talk about the T and dart tough, it's LaQuinn Allen. The dude's tough. You know what I'm saying?
I like watching him run. That's
yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
He finishes plays, But even then, they talk about him in his football IQ and his smarts, the way that he ran that clock down and then got down.
He got down,
on the
yes.
ground instead of going to try to get forced to do anything dumb or go out of bounds, so that the clock keeps moving. So that was a headsy play for him.
Very.
But yeah, no, like we talked about it earlier, the way that they're moving the ball around, you want to keep him fresh. We need him for the whole year. We need everyone for the whole year, obviously. You don't want to have injuries, but the more you move it around and you get players confident, then the harder it is for the defense to play you because you don't know where the ball's going. It could go to whoever, but also it keeps these guys fresh. LaQuinn's had 15 carries in both games, right? And it allows him to still be able to be fresh at the end of the game to finish out those runs and get those first downs so that we can, kind of bleed the clock and get the game over with, just finish the game. So it's smart to not have to sit there and rely on one person or two people.
It's smart. And, like you said, sliding down like that is a classy move. Just to give yourself up, stay in bounds, because he was close. He wasn't that close, but he was close enough. Could have been an issue.
Could have fought for more, right?
Do what?
He could have fought for more.
He could have, but he knew right then that that was it. All I had to do is kneel this thing out, and we're done. We're getting a W. Right. That's it. That's unselfish play.
Right.
You've seen the guys slide right before the end zone, right? Because they know they can, instead of tacking on points and making it that much harder, they can just win the game by kneeling it out instead of scoring. It's just unselfish play. You like to see that. So, At Tim Abbott 44, the offense is really good. The defense not so much. Without Wax, the linebackers aren't playing instinctively, just reacting. Big conference win at home, so there's a lot to be positive and excited about. Go Orange. And, it's been... I think the defense is going to shape up. Look, we're going to be out without Wax. You had Fadil Diggs playing linebacker. So... and I think he did pretty good. He's just such a massive dude. It's like you could probably put it. I mean, other than cornerback, you put him anywhere up there, and he's gonna do okay. He's just he's a freaking.
That fourth down play was
just that was balls to the wall, and you talk about who's tough, right? What'd you say?
He just knocked a lineman over, like a 3-yard head start, just ran him over and just stuffed the running back. It's a pretty impressive play for sure.
And like Coach said, it's a kind of like a finger in the eye. Like, you got Brent Key talking about tough, right? When it's not about X and O, it's about being tough. Well, okay. Syracuse was a whole lot tougher yesterday than Georgia Tech. And
you could tell.
Oh, yeah.
Early in the game, you had some Georgia Tech players get banged up. They were, first play of the game.
Very early, yeah. First play.
Yes. Obviously that motivated them, right? That's one of those things where we got it from the presser and everything like that. Like Arande talked about how he just kept talking about it and playing it. So he wasn't like it was just like that Coach Fran was using it for himself to like get him pumped up. He was getting everybody else pumped up and, getting everyone involved. Like you said, give them bulletin board, type stuff. That's what that was. And if a coach wants to say something like that every week in the pregame, I'm cool with it because you could tell he was fired up. Players were fired up. Scott from Facebook says offense is legit. It's only game 2, but we have a great coach that involved with the kids and the game, doesn't stand on the sideline with his arms crossed. He's energetic, and I believe he coaches them even when they're on the shitter. Give him time, at least the defense. Give him time, at least the defense improved and was ready for their run attack. We will get better. I mean, that is one thing. I finally got to see Fran, like, the way that he actually threw the TV, because, I went to the first game and I didn't see it. So
yeah,
I saw what you were talking about. Like, he's just all over the place, high energy, just coaching people up.
High energy, ran to the student section at the end of the game. Said thank you to them. He's a very, he's almost programmed. Like, he just does everything right. He thinks about all of the other things that a lot of people don't think about. You know what I mean? He's he's got something about him that I think it's his faith, but I think that he's just got a lot of character, and you can tell he's happy to be here, and he wants to be awesome, and just going back to what we were talking about, Brent Key. I mean, I hope every coach talks smack at pressers going into games, because. This is just not the team, I don't believe, that you want to fire up like that. They proved it. And this is not the coach either. Like, he's not afraid of saying he made it personal. There's not a lot of people who are just going to come out and be like, yeah, it was personal to me. Like, because you don't want, on the other hand, to let people know that they affected you that way and you took it personally. Because sometimes there's a shell you want to put out there, a facade that says, well, I don't take it personal. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Well, it bothered him. I mean, he basically just said it bothered me. I took it personal. I think that's great.
Or did it?
Well, yeah, absolutely did. What do you mean?
I mean...
Wait, if you're taking something personal, it's bothering you. Like, it pissed you off enough. Like, it bothered you.
Right, yeah. But did it really piss him off, or did Brent Key just give him something that he could feed his teams?
Both.
That he could...
Yes.
I mean, did we reach? Did he reach? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where sometimes you can play those head games where maybe it wasn't really that personal, but I'm going to use it anyway.
Or maybe he made it personal in his head. Maybe he psyched himself into being like, you know what? I want this to bother me. I'm going to use this, even though it doesn't. Who knows? But either way,
Yeah, see, and with me personally, I don't think the whole toughness thing, because I could see how that could be, misconstrued or put out of context, because I thought he might have been speaking just strictly about his team. But I think the whole him downplaying that he knew him, and you know what I mean, and
that's a dirty move.
Relationship, to me, that would have probably made it more upsetting. And then, take that, and then you add fuel to the fire of like, they don't think it matters. They don't think the X's and O's matter. They think that they're just going to come up here, and as long as they play tough, they're going to beat us.
Right.
So, pumped into that too is where I think that came from. I do think that part of it was a little personal, but I don't think he's going to like hold a grudge. It's just it was personal for this game. We got the dub. Maybe just next time don't say anything, or maybe next time you know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just think it's I love it, I guess. I don't know what it is. I just love it.
Don't get me wrong. I love it too. And it's a far cry from the last however many.
Yeah, we won't get into that.
Yeah, we won't.
At Oil Cuse, holy effing shit. We did it, boys. And it shouldn't have even been that close to win when we had a field goal block, a punt blocked, and we lost an onside kick is amazing. We are the better team. Kyle McCord is a baller. The D stepped up enough. Joe is nasty as F. And F Kamala. So anyway.
Well.
Maybe, I mean, Cat Patrick always throw in ad hominem attacks in there. It's not nice, Cap.
Yeah.
Joe is nasty. AF, by the way.
Why?
I mean, the ketchup on the hot dog thing.
Oh, here we go.
It's still a problem with most SU fans out there. Big debate, though, last year I think we got into. Let's see. What else do we got? What else do you got? You've done two. I like this meme, though. It's going to be too hard to describe it.
Top fan Michael DeLello, he has a little thing in here that says...
yeah, the box ain't working. The machine ain't working right. It's pissing me off a little bit. Go on. Go on.
It says... McCord is getting the Heisman, and we are going to the playoffs.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that the playoffs are out of the realm of possibility with 12 teams. It just depends on how we finish the conference play and stuff. I know it's go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's funny how, like, in the beginning of the season, we do our previews and we automatically think that we know, like, something about a team. And sometimes we're just like, I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh, they pulled out a game against Cincinnati yesterday. Boston College, they look a lot more formidable than I think that we thought. I think those were two games that coming into the regular season, we thought were going to be a little bit easier. UNLV's looked pretty good. We know Miami's looked really good. To me, they're number one in the ACC right now. So yeah, I guess what I mean.
Yeah, what do you mean
by bringing this up? And my point is that as much as I am like confident because we did get that first game and then the Georgia Tech, I think that definitely gave me confidence to think that we could probably or most definitely win every game. However, I think because of the way some of the other games have gone, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy going through. It's just
it's not. And I think
there'll be a lot more toss-up games, I believe, than I originally thought.
I think right. And then when we looked at the schedule, I mean, that's kind of like that's a good point because it's a little bit what I alluded to earlier is that the schedule is a little bit different than what we thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? Like it seems to be, you still got Virginia Tech, you got Pitt. I know NC State got waxed yesterday by Tennessee. So it's like
waxed.
Huh?
That wasn't close though.
Yeah, I know, but I mean they're ranked. So, anyway, those are all really good teams. Like you said, Boston College, and we got Miami. So we still have all those teams. We got Holy Cross and UConn that are games that we absolutely should win. Now, I think we could win all these games. However, I don't want to get too high on the horse either, but I'm just saying, yesterday was exciting. Let's take it for what it is.
Yeah.
And through these next 5 games, you could say 6. That would get us to NC State at NC State. So, that's halfway through the season. We're really going to know what this team's made of at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where I kind of want to play it the same way that Fran does. Day by day, week by week type situation. It's we got to bye next week. I think that we got out of yesterday relatively healthy. I don't remember seeing any type of injuries. There are obviously things that we need to get better, and we will get better at. But also getting 1 week for Stanford. That's the next game that we got to worry about, and then Holy Cross. So if we can take care of business against Stanford and Holy Cross, then we're going to be right where we thought we were going to be. We just got by Georgia Tech, and UNLV will be the next one. But again, I do think that we have a great chance of being undefeated coming down to Raleigh.
That's what I'm thinking, and that'll be the next big test is UNLV, I guess. But you got another big test right after that, coming off a late game on the West Coast and having to go down to Raleigh, which is always tough. No matter what team you're playing in that area, it's tough because it's Joe, because you live there. Those fans, those diehard fan area for all 4 of those teams in that area. NC State, well, you got NC State, Duke, UNC. Wake Forest. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they all show up, except for Duke. That one time you went and it was raining and there was 5 people there. That was a long time ago. Duke's stepped up their game since then.
They definitely have. But even to your point, fans of App State, East Carolina, they are kind of hardcore, you know what I mean? So they got a huge following too. Down here in an area where fans definitely step up, and it's definitely not easy to play really at any of these places. And we traditionally haven't played that well since we've joined the ACC down at State, down in Raleigh.
Yeah, it's not. They don't have a great track record there.
No,
they don't. Anyway, yeah, it's just one of those places. That area, the whole area. At Grant Hathaway 9 special. I'm done with the special teams talk. I am. We know. Look, as Fran Brown says it needs to be fixed. It's on him. He's gonna fix it. Because you know what? If it doesn't get fixed and it's on him again, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it'll get fixed. Trust me.
Yeah, we get it. We understand that was why the game was close, and we understand that it can't happen again. Got it.
Right. And to be fair, all of these guys, all of Twitter and Facebook, they're all posting this stuff right around the same time. They're probably not looking through what's already there. So it's just, what's on their mind at the time. And that's fair. Because I think we all came out of that game with our asses a little bit puckered going, well, that was a whole lot closer than it needed to be. And it's because of this. So,
yeah.
There was one I saw. Okay. At Boeheim is March. We can compete with anyone. Just have to hope for key pieces to stay healthy. That's a big thing, right? And we're going to see through Marlowe's was like a freak thing. I don't know. It was not a conditioning thing or anything like that. It was kind of, he got rolled up on while he was on the ground. I think it was friendly fire too, if I remember right. But, we're going to see when we get to week 5 or 6 of games, then where this team's at, because we're used to having the wheels fall off of this thing right around November. If we remember, if we could have a good November, it'll be the first good November we've had in, I don't know, Joe, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
It's Maroon, I believe.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see. Let's keep going here. Do you have anything else? Go ahead.
Andy, our boy Andy, said, we just saw the difference between what it means to have an elite quarterback over an average quarterback. This team can compete for an ACC championship.
Yeah. I think it's wide open right now. I mean, obviously it's way too early. It's wide open. A lot of good teams. And I don't like the realignment stuff. If you listened to us, you know that. But with that said, the ACC is a force in football. There's a lot of good teams in the ACC. They don't get the respect that they deserve.
Not high level. I think that we're deep, though.
Yeah, no, I know. I get it. Yeah, I understand. But, I mean, we've had Clemson. FSU was just a hair away from getting into the college football playoffs last year. Actually, you could make an argument that they should have. And the only reason they didn't is because what's his name was injured. I'm
more or less talking about this year. Florida State doesn't look like the...
Well, I know. I'm talking about just historically speaking. ACC outperforms. It outperforms every year from what people predict.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speak of another game that just got harder yesterday, California.
That's, I thought about that when I was watching that too.
They beat Auburn at Auburn.
Yeah.
Without starting running back.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, go figure.
Yeah.
One of the ones I was thinking like, oh, okay, whatever. And now has become a problem. So back to us kind of poo-pooing that. Well, yeah, we kind of poo-pooed the schedule. This is going to be an easy schedule. Well, I wish we had, a Clemson in there. Make this a little challenging. I remember thinking that. I don't know if I said it, but yeah, it's a little bit.
In some of these games, these other teams, all of a sudden it doesn't look like playing an SMU or a Florida State would have been that bad this year, or even in North Carolina for that matter.
At Mead 5 Tina, I understand why some fans get so frustrated and want to smash their televisions. I was nearly there, but they won despite some major screw-ups. I have faith that they will get better. Yeah, there's nothing in me that believes that Fran can't fix any issues that we have week to week. And
Don't smash.
Do what?
Don't smash your television, man. Inflation.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Well, do you know what's funny? Is televisions are still some of the cheapest things you can get.
I wonder why. They want you to have one in every room.
Yeah, they want you to have one in every room. They're come equipped with microphones now. So this just the dumbing down of the American people continues. As a guy who not has one TV outside, but now has two TVs outside. So look, I know they got me too. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, got to be able to see two TVs while it's floating in your pool.
I got a multi-view and I got the main TV. It's like, look. It's only for college football. I don't even do that shit with the NFL. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
So, at Mike S74855-165. First off, Notre Dame lost in... Dude.
Notre Dame did lose in Northern Illinois.
Dude. What?
What?
At Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That was so great. I was so happy. Let's take a second to just soak that in because I was so happy about that. In the interview with the coach afterward was amazing. That was one of the best post-game interviews of a coach I've ever seen. Did you see it?
Who, Brian Kelly?
Yeah. No, the other guy. I don't remember his name now. I knew it yesterday. The Northern Illinois coach.
Oh, no, I have no idea who his name is.
I forget his name, forgive me. But if you have a chance to go back and watch his interview, it was awesome. That guy, he seems like he's a class act, and man, that meant a lot to him. And what a freaking win for Northern Illinois. It was so good. And everybody, if you've listened to me for more than 5 minutes, you know how I feel about Notre Dame. Yeah. So anyway, whatever. Join the conference, damn it. What the hell? I think that's going to wrap it up for me, Joe, unless you got anything else. I'm just trying to peruse through here. Go ahead.
Jason from Facebook, Jason Butler. If you're one of the fans that are still complaining and not coming out to support this program, just go away.
Yeah, not much to complain about. This goes back to our old problem, right? What comes first? Asses in the seats or wins? And it seems like that we're at a crossroads with that. And if you're pulling 39,550 and you're just a couple thousand shy of filling the place up all the way,
right?
We're on track. So, I think we'll get a couple sellouts. However, 39,550 was not happening last year, and at least on a consistent basis, they got 37,000 for Ohio. So
yeah,
let's monitor that and go from there. But there's not a whole lot to bitch about. There's always going to be that. And if you've still got something to seriously bitch about, then I just can't. I don't even think I'm going to humor that stuff anymore as much as I want to. I'm not there with it. So anyway.
Dude, the special team.
Special teams, they suck. Fire the special teams coordinator. Like, calm down. It's okay. What are you going to do? It's one game. They'll get this thing rolling. I mean, this is going to be a cohesive unit. I mean, you got 2 weeks right now to start making it happen. That's a big deal. They know enough about themselves on what they need to do to make it better. And that's all that matters to me. And I believe I have full confidence in these coaches and their abilities and the athletes too. So just think about what the day could have been. And you mentioned that if some of those passes, because some of those passes were good passes, they were just not caught. So anyway, tremendous. The offense is tremendous. Anyway, that's all I got. You got anything else, Joe, to wrap this thing up?
No, I mean, I think that's it, dude. Just happy we pulled it out.
Happy we pulled it out, absolutely. And I love that the really going back to that last comment about fans. I love that that's kind of really turning around because this team deserves. I think all our teams have deserved the support. However, this is different, and
right.
And it's just good to see. It's a lot of things changing in a very short amount of time in regards to this football program, which is crazy, in my opinion, how quickly.
Looks different.
Huh?
It looks different.
It looks different. It feels different.
Just the way that Kyle plays and even some of the play calling. I mean, I know defenses have everything.
The 3rd and 15, Joe. Any other time in the past, they just hand the thing off and be safe and just get a couple yards and punt the ball, right? No, they drop Kyle McCord back and have him launch one. And it's caught. It's first down. It's like that type of stuff. The one last week with the time management stuff that was on point, and I think it was like a 3rd and 5, and they just went for the end zone right before the half. So those things are definitely different. We are not used to seeing a lot of balls when it comes to play calling. So
no.
Anyway.
And just the different ways that they do it, right? Like you see, I mean, we were 2 for 2 on 4th down yesterday. Right, McCord tries to do his little quarterback sneak and 3rd down, gets stopped, and we just stay out there. And then he does a little option pitch to LeQuint for 10 yards, or the reverse to Zede Haynes. I think that we got on 3rd down.
The reverse to Zede Haynes was especially good because there was a timeout called right before that.
Right.
And so they had to do something else, and they came up with that. And they still went for it, too, which was great. So, and if I remember right, they were kind of not deep in their own territory, but I believe we're on our side of the 50.
40, yeah, we were, absolutely.
So, anyway. Okay, that is going to do it for us, folks, and I'll hit the right button this time. Look, I appreciate all of you, everybody in Spaces. Thanks for coming out and listening. We appreciate all you guys so much. Make sure you come back, sign up for that, notifications, and from there, look, we'll be back. We're going to take the week off. We'll be back a week from Tuesday to look at Stanford. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.